lack of prep can cost you because he hadn't done any prep. He hadn't got any more hook lengths. He hadn't got another rod set up. That cost him beating me that day.
Very easy to go into fishing nowadays with this is what I'm going to do. And we're the catalyst for that. It's probably cost a lot of people a lot of fish and even a lot of match wins in recent years. Probably get it right. I don't know if we could answer this or not, but I want to address it. But
this is one for Rooney.
Conversation ended. Thank you. Next topic.
If they're not careful, I can see it imploding in the next couple of years. He's a prime example of someone who was at the forefront, and I think he'll openly admit he hasn't got the buzz for it at the minute.
That's a stupid comment. Go on, Steve, you were saying.
No, I can't say it. We're live now.
Come on. Come on.
No, I'm bottling it. I could get arrested.
Go on, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, obviously, you know when you're really tired, you can understand how people snap.
Oh, yeah. I said to Meg this morning, because we've not registered officially yet, so it'd be quite easy to get rid of her before, you know.
Jesus Christ. You know, I wasn't going that far.
No, she's great, to be fair. She's been good as gold. What's been happening, boys? How's your week been?
It's been all right, obviously, following on from last week's weigh-in. Took Jeff on the Trent, on the Tidal.
Jeff or Dad?
Both. We had six lovely barbel, all between £5 and £7. So he was absolutely... We got one first Chuck, which is always nice.
Mega.
Look at that.
He was over them. And the bites, as you two know, are incredible. He loved it. He bought his shelter, set his shelter up. We sat in the chairs just watching the rods, and then every now and again one just folded over. That's one. Like, I'm loving it at the minute, but what I love about it is the chill factor, is in sitting in a chair, not being busy. Like, every single person who walks along is like, you need loads of maggots. Chuck every 3-4 minutes, get a big bed down. I don't go to do that. Yeah. I go there to chill out. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to catch a massive barbel, but I go there to chill and just put a bit of bait in and sit over the top. Basically fishing it like yourself and Roon have told me to.
You know what I love when I go a Roon, right? I'm messy as hell because my barbel kit's just like bit of match stuff, bit of specie stuff, generally live out of a bucket.
Yeah, mine's in a bucket.
Roon sets up camp, right? So if I'm not catching out, I have a little wander down and he has like various flasks laid out, then his cookies and all his baits dead neat, and like his setup for barbeling's immaculate, innit, Roon?
Yeah. I love things to be nice and have everything organised. It's lovely. I love barbel fishing. I think it's a really good, especially for our sort of side of the sport, for a bit of escapism and just chill and relax. And there's nothing quite like a barbel bite, is there? And then when you play them on, they're just brilliant. I bet
I'll tell you what's really interesting. It's quite obviously the Tidal gets quite busy because it's data kit.
Yeah,
I'd say 90% of the anglers you see are match anglers doing something different in the winter. They're all wearing like Guru, Drennan, Preston clothing. They've got 2 rods. They've got a little shelter. They're just, and some of them have come a long way. They're just looking for something to do different once the weather turns.
Just like us, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I expected, though, to see loads of people in like camo and stuff. And it's not. It's like people just... A lot of them are the same as, obviously, I took my dad, trying to catch their first barbel.
Yeah.
These are nice. These are good.
What did you see that barbel that Cranny had on the Y in the festival last week?
Yeah, £14 was a right. Well, it's a bit of an ugly one, wasn't it?
Oh, Cranny.
That's no way to speak about Cranny. He's quite a good.
Quite nice.
Yeah, they look quite similar, don't they?
What, the barbel and Cranny?
Yeah.
Like barbel, like captor.
I'd hate to see a barbel if it looked like Matt.
Imagine, be like a koi one.
Be a really tired one.
I noticed that the Bad Angling Police got on the case with his with Catchmore's netting video of it. Did you see him?
I did, but like, I don't know. At the end of the day, he netted it. The barbel's fine.
It's absolutely fine. It's a fish in a net.
You know what I mean? Like, we're netting, but you see it obviously on Larford videos when Tom Scully does his Catchmore. Jordan catches a 20-pounder, and the first 167 comments are "get a decent landing net."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I haven't got a problem with. Don't know. I just don't see the issue. You net the fish. The fish is fine.
Yeah, as long as you put him back safely and don't mistreat it, there's no problem, is there? You've got to get it in. A match pan isn't, we're not going prepared with a 42-inch carp net.
My argument,
they're worth for barbel as well, a big net.
My argument with it all as well is we can all be holier than thou, but at the end of the day, we're sticking a hook in something.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's not something I really wanted to get into on this show, but I was just going to say, you sat there on a river and you're feeding it something that's probably not natural for it. You're putting an hook in it and bringing it out of the river. Does putting it in a small landing net, because it happens to have taken your bait on a really rare occasion, does it really hurt at all? I don't think it does. I honestly don't think so. It does.
No, not at all. Like you say, he would have looked after it on the bank and it would have went back properly. So I think
leave
it there, innit?
I think that's what a lot of people, like what you said there, Roon, like we look after the fish. People seem to have this image of like match type anglers. You know what I mean? Like, I care about I've always had this belief: you look after the fish, they'll look after you.
Yeah,
totally agree.
If they're not there, we're not. We can't fish for them, and we're not there.
But there's this massive like misconception, and like particularly on social media, where people just jump all over anything that they think is vaguely wrong.
Speaking of world records, see my wasp I caught. Look at this. Look at that for a wasp.
Bloody hell!
There's a spoon. Sorry, I just made a cup of tea. Look how big that is.
It's probably a hornet or something.
So you would not want to get stung by that. Flipping
I'll tell you what, it's a big one.
What? How's your look at the size of it? Don't do it. How's your injury, Steve? How's your roach fishing injury? Your hamstring tear?
Obviously, all I'll say is be careful be careful putting wellies on. Obviously, I was putting my welly on. Well, no, I wasn't putting it on. I was taking it off, and then I tore my hamstring. We've
got some new wellies coming out, Roon, haven't we, in December? So maybe Steve could do the promo film on how to get them on and off properly.
Yeah. Well, he asked me for extra big calves. The gap at the top.
Wellies now scare me. I can't imagine myself putting a welly on for a long time, because getting it off once I'd torn my hamstring was really bad. But on a more, obviously, I went to see, I've got a big thanks to Steve Richards and his wife, Kate. She had a look at the hamstring for me on Friday, and she basically gave me a lot of good advice. So it's starting to feel better. I'll be honest, it looks a lot worse than it is now.
Did she give you a massage?
She did. She gave my hamstring a massage, and she iced it.
Only a hamstring?
Yes.
She massaged your hamstring?
Yeah. No, she was really good. Really good. So I owe those two a lot, to be fair. So. Because I was getting a bit stressed with it because it was so black.
Right.
I know. It looks like roach fish for a while.
What you been on, wee Roon Dog, this week? What you been up to? You've been out and about a few days, haven't you?
Yeah, went out with Steve on Thursday for a little bit of dangling. We went to try out some new feeders, which are coming out next year, we were really excited about. And Barston decided to switch off. They got a bit of it's like what was it, Steve? Like an algae.
Basically, the water. If you look at the water, it's black, which basically I think is a massive algae crash. When you get an algae crash, it strips everything, and I think the oxygen's probably slightly lower than it should be now. And the fish were how many fish were in front of us when we sat down?
Well, I got there first, and I saw this ball of fish, and I thought we'd been there the week before and caught. Well, I'd been there the week before and caught loads in the same sort of area. I thought, oh my God, there's even more there than there was last week. So we're definitely sitting here. I give Steve obviously the boss peg, and I sat on the rubbish peg next to it. But yeah, it was absolutely black, weren't it?
Yeah, there was loads of fish, but as we found out rather quickly, they weren't going to eat anything.
Yeah, I think we caught about 5 fish all day. Well, 5 fish worth catching.
I think we caught like three actual carp. Even when you saw the fish obviously went to the right, which side I was, but kept swimming. But even when you chucked to where the fish were, which is normally guaranteed at Barston, they didn't feed.
No, there was a few other people there as well struggling, weren't there? But it'd be back before you know it.
Obviously I fished golden, rod, reel, can never remember which one there Saturday, and I knew obviously after Thursday it wasn't going to be good. And obviously when I drew 48, I cried myself all the way around there. On the plus side, though, there's a parking bay now right behind 48.
Them
So
parking
the
Them
van was
parking
like
bays
4
are
meters away. So that was amazing. My zone, I think I couldn't have drawn much worse in the zone. It was 48 to 61.
best pegging.
And then
Toby, get the violin music on. This little
79 to about 90. You know what I mean? And then, to be fair, I fish like an absolute hero. No, I've sat in a massive trough for 2 hours, feeling sorry for myself.
In a tank trough.
Yeah, real big tank trough. You know when Tank's in one of his biggest ever troughs? I was right in the middle of it. Anyone that walked by got full. When they knew I was in a trough. Trust me.
Did you go to the back of your swim and go and have a word with yourself before you got going?
No, I just sat there after a while and thought, can't get the van out to go home because obviously you can't drive past everyone. And I thought, I tried to be clever, like fishing it a bit old style. When we got there, it was flat. Well, it stayed flat all day. There was a few fish milling about, like 40, from about 45 to 48 from the sluice. And I thought, don't chuck out. Obviously, be really clever. So I set a couple of rods up, went for a walk. And I thought, keep that water nice and quiet. Come back 5 minutes to go. Want a sign of a fish anywhere. But obviously it swam off. So I just tried to start short and leave myself a big safe zone. After 2 hours, I got nothing. No one was catching anything either. But I didn't know about around the corner. I assumed they were emptying it. But then I just thought, if they're not feeding any... Then someone came around and said there were no fish in the teens, which is where me and Rooney had sat. So I got my bait up rod out, clipped it up at 54 meters, started putting a few 5-hole Guru 30 grams in pellets and corn, a few micros, a few 4 mils, some corn. And I thought I'll fish off the back of it. So that if they don't really want to eat, at least I'm doing something. And I did it for basically I cast out for anything between 3 and 10 minutes, reeled it in, put two bait ups in, tried slopping it up a little bit to create a cloud, but there wasn't really any signs. Then after with about an hour and 50 to go, I think I'd got a 6-ounce skimmer, a 3-pound bream and a 2.5-pound bream. And I chucked it in, it landed. I switched to a 32-gram medium hybrid as well because it was flat and I wanted a little bit less disturbance. It landed and I was staring at the water when you're just staring, thinking this is absolutely crap. And I just saw this massive swell. And I thought, bloody hell, a fish has just swirled right where my feeder is. Looked down and the rod was locked solid.
I love them bites. I love them.
Yeah. So I had a carp, and from then on, I just ticked over. I caught baited at 54. I caught a few fish at 56, a couple at 58, a couple at 59, and then 2 on the bait right at the end. Finished with 2 carp for 18 pound, 4 or 5 F1s, 5 or 6 big skimmers. 38 pound, which amazingly was 5th in the match. It was worth 120 quid, so it was worth sorting my head out and getting on it. And I actually quite enjoyed the last hour and a half. I didn't realise, and I actually thought at one point I might qualify, but Marius, one of the Romanians, lovely bloke, he was on the other bank and he had 5 for 52 off about 86. So he qualified. Robert Tardowski, that's probably wrong pronunciation. He had 130 odd pound off 25.
Nice.
And then Cy Parker won the middle zone. Get the violin out again with 35 pound. And if I'd have been 1 peg to the left, I'd have been in the middle zone.
No one likes
to see that, I actually thought maybe if I'd have baited from the start, but when you looked around the lake, nothing fed for the first half of the match. So by baiting sort of halfway through, I feel like probably I pushed the swim at the right time.
Yeah.
I wonder if when you walked off before the match to leave your peg nice and quiet, if the fish all followed you.
No, they didn't, because I walked to the left to Joe Jagger and them, and they caught nothing. So I just think it's the problem with Barston is sometimes, particularly when you're in that middle bit, you're in a bit of a bottleneck. And that the fish basically go either end. They said there were loads and loads of fish in the 50s on top, from 53 round. But obviously it's a bit deeper there. It's 6, 7, maybe even 8 foot in places. And like we said, there's this algae crash. They're not happy, so they wouldn't drop. So they could see loads of fish. You know what I mean? We saw those fish. You tried a zig rig.
Yeah.
And if they don't want to feed, they don't want to feed. I feel like it's raining outside now. I feel like a couple of days of solid rain's what we need.
Yeah, freshen it up a little bit.
I think that middle section at Barston as well can be really good when you can be aggressive. like this time of year, it's a bit hit or miss because, you know, I know you've caught overfeed, but it's very rare you can get away with doing that there, I'd say, to be honest. But hey, you nearly made it, Steve. You nearly made it.
Nearly. I'm a nearly man.
Don't you? Like, I think people find it interesting, this chat, about how far past the bait you actually fish, even on a feeder and even at 50 metres. Or I know that when you go Barst and Roon, you're massive on fishing left, right, past, even this side of where you loose feed your pellets.
Yeah. Not thinking anymore about that.
Yeah, cheers for that.
Yeah. It's a shallow lake. It's very rare they're sat right on top of your bait. Conversation ended. Thank you. Next topic. Anyway, we were talking about what I did the weekend. Steve rudely interrupted as well. I didn't do a lot. It was a bit boring. I had a power cut on Saturday, so I spent about 24 hours taking bulbs out of things to try and work out what was not working.
Right.
Anyway, it's my gates again. Great they are.
No.
Yeah, so they're manual at the moment, and I've got no lights in the garage. But hopefully the electrician is coming out soon. I went for a run. Did
nice
8 or 9K. I can't really do a lot of exercise at the minute because my really bad, poorly hernia that I'm living with. So I just went for a steady run with DT Dan. That was good. What else did I do? Football both days. And then I was asked on Sunday to start getting Christmas decorations down. I mean, come on.
That's too early.
Too early.
Not even the middle of night. Is that Cara?
Yeah, crazy. Like, oh, let's get the tree out to air it and let it fluff up a little bit.
No.
You know? No. Shall I get the Easter stuff out as well? That's not far away, is it? Ridiculous.
They're absolutely raged. When have you got yours out yet, Steve?
No, mine will come out when I've given up listening to all the nagging. to be fair, we don't normally get it out 1st of December. But like, if I had my way, I wouldn't put it up at all.
Nah, I'm a bit screwed like that. But I do love Christmas, but not in November.
I like the fishing at Christmas. I like the fishing at Christmas.
Yeah, are you doing your Ringers Pairs this year?
Yeah, we are actually. Yes. Yeah,
put me in.
We booked it last night.
Oh, cool.
So obviously, you fished last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Everyone who fished last year will get first. But yeah, myself and Waco, we booked it. We booked the venue last night. I think. Well, I won't say the date on here because it'll probably get flooded with people trying to get on there.
But obviously, you're going to open it up, Steve. When are you going to open entries?
Waco's going to put them on his page, but like we limit it to. Well, last year we had 62, but we only want 30 pairs, and out of loyalty, the 30 that fished last year will get first refusal, and I'd be amazed if at least 25 of the 30 don't commit again.
Yeah, got you.
Pete Carpet's running one as well, isn't he? A bit sooner.
Yeah, a bit earlier. Yeah, ours is obviously just after Christmas, but I'll let you know the date, Roon, and then obviously. But I don't think there'll be. Well, might not even be any places come up. Most people do it every year.
I'll polish off me methods.
Yeah.
You'd have won on a method.
I want to hit you both with a question, which is quite.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. What did you do the weekend? Come on, baby.
What did I do this weekend?
Obviously, Barnes. You were on the Staney, I presume, were you?
No, was I yet? Absolutely not.
They still won without you.
Yeah, they did. They won Winter League. Well, Barnsley, that were good. Good old boys. Man. Well done, lads. Where was I Saturday? Sunday, I went over to Meg's sister. I've got 2 little nephews who's not seen little Polly yet. So we took Polly over to Meg's sister's and she met her nephew and nieces, which was quite nice. Saturday, what did I do on Saturday? Can't remember what I did Saturday. I did get a chance to catch a fish in the week, however. I went to pick some stuff up off little Kayla. She gave me some bottle warming stuff and she was filming at Kiverton and Foy wanted a video doing. So I went down, picked this bottle thing up off her and caught 2 tench on a gear. I bloody needed it, lads, honestly. I really needed it. I sat down, plunked into it, and I were in my jeans and all. And I got back home and I got tench slime on my jeans. And Meg was like, "Where have you been?" Big bottle thing up off Kayla. I can't remember what I did Saturday.
Slept.
Just went out. We just tried to get out for a little walk, get her in a bit of fresh air. Took her to Clumber Park. You know where you used to catch them massive bream?
I used to fish there as a kid. Like little tench. There was a bit we used to call Tench Alley as a kid.
Yeah. Used to be brilliant, Clumber.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I
think it's a
really
syndicate
weedy in
now.
it.
Yeah, some amazing fish in it. I'm sure that there's like a couple of 50-pound carp. They call it the dark park, don't they? Like the carpers, they keep it all secret and what have you. But some massive fish in it. But that were me. I'm back out this weekend. Thankfully, I can't wait to get out. To be honest, it's been nice spending a bit of time with Polly and Meg. But it fries my brain being in the house too long. Like genuinely does me nothing. I need like fresh air. Want to be with you lot, like just to get some shit done. Like drives me nuts not doing it.
I think everyone's enjoyed you not being there, to be honest.
Yeah, I hate not being in it and doing it with like the fishing, the work, coming to off it, like, and I'm probably talking about it in a quite fun way, but I'm sure some people really struggle with it. If they didn't have the fishing or the relationships at work and that, just been stuck in an house, absolutely not for me.
Got to get outside, ain't you?
Yeah, of course you have.
Sorry.
What's the question?
Fishing Minty. He's had a couple, but this guy, he does ask some really good questions, and I couldn't ignore this one. I thought it were quite apt to us lot, because I know that we all do a bit of different stuff. Roon's been talking about his running, car shows, Steve with his barbel fishing. I've been looking after a little sprog for a week.
Giving up now?
Yeah, going to get rid of her soon, hopefully. No, she's lovely. I love her to bits, bless her. Based on Rooney's comment about having a track day with Chris Harris instead of a fishing day, do you think it's possible to improve your fishing skills and spend time doing other hobbies, or do you have to spend all of your spare time fishing to get better? I try to do alternative weekends of car shows and fishing, but wonder if one of them has to give, as my fishing skills don't seem to be improving at all. Maybe it just takes longer to improve if you go less. What do you think to that, Roon?
I think he's got it spot on there, really. I think you get out of it as much as you put in, really. If you want to fish at your pair's level, there's no doubt about it. You've got to prep and you've got to be out there doing it week in, week out, I think. Fishing's probably the most selfish sport in the world when it comes to that and commitment. And it's because everyone's so good at that top level. So, yeah, if you want to be the best, you've got to put the effort in. Simple as that. But if you want to enjoy life and enjoy your fishing, mix it up. That's what I do now. I'd love to dedicate all my time to fishing and fish at half of Steve's or your level, but it's not a reality, especially with job, young children, and interests in other things. Like, I love going to a car show. I love going to watch my boy play football. I love sitting at Barston, peg 48. Imagine drawing that. You'd win every week.
I hope you draw it every day.
I've drew it a few times, but I won't tell you.
I've drawn it a lot, actually.
I was on 48 in that qualifier the other day, believe it or not.
Yeah.
When they're on the pinging line, it's actually not that bad a peg.
No, it can be good on the pinging line because it's hard. But no, yeah, so it's just a balance. But if you want to commit and go for it, then unless you're extremely super talented and one of these people that can just put their hand to anything, like you pair, no, not really. You put a lot of effort in. Jimmy Bullard or someone like that's a good example. Just pick up a golf club, pick up a fishing rod, and is like brilliant with it. Then yeah, you've got to put the effort in to get the reward. Really simple.
What are you saying, Steve?
I think it changes as you get older. Like when I was a lot younger, I'd fish like as many matches as I possibly could. And I do believe, and I've said this before on a previous episode of The Weigh In, that you are razor sharp when you fish more. Yeah. But also I now believe that you can become overfish. So I think there's a balance. It's like I realistically, in the summer, maybe a bit different with the world champs, few festivals, etc. Most of the time, I fish one match a week, which I think is enough at what I do. Then maybe I'll probably be out a couple of days working or whatever. But I think you need a bit of variety. Like, obviously, at the minute, I'm into my barbling. The last, 4 or 5 years after Christmas, I'll go chub fishing like 3 or 4 evenings a week. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to keep yourself fresh. So if you go all the time, I don't think you can be fresh, particularly in the winter when the weather's tough. Yeah. Venues are probably a bit peggier. less fish to be caught. You can be having a bad run. I think when it's like that, sometimes when you're getting a bit down with it, just go and do something different.
Yeah, have an out.
Yeah, have an out. You know, we still be fishing, I love after Christmas. I'll be on the ooze a lot, chub fishing, just for a couple of hours.
Whereabouts?
And I love it. Pardon?
Whereabouts? What pegs is it on the ooze you go on?
I can't tell you. It's top secret.
Oh, okay.
Secret.
Anyone watching this will know when they see my van parked up. But no, I don't know. I used to think you had to go all the time, but I think as you get older, I definitely think there's a cut-off point. And I've said it before. I think we're seeing it with a few of the younger generation where they hit a wall and they're not enjoying it no more. And I think when that happens, you need to start doing something a little bit different, whether it's a different type of fishing or something outside fishing, to get your enthusiasm back.
Yeah,
I agree. Good point.
What I'd add to that, because I think it's a great question because it applies to so many people, is if you are fishing less, I think that you need focus. And I think focus is the word. So if this gentleman that's asking this question wants to really do well at the fishing that he's doing, I'd say you need to really hone in on that. So if it's, for example, feeder fishing on a commercial or a big commercial, just do that for a while and do your research and do your prep and talk to people about it. It's I think nowadays it's very good and also easy in fishing to have a project, so to speak, where there's an event coming up and you can get your kit ready for that specific event, that specific style of fishing. You can go and have a practice at that particular thing and then go and try and execute it. And I feel like fishing now is so fragmented with, last week, the River Wye Festival, a golden rod that you were fishing, Steve, for example. If you wanted to go and do that, you could go, get your kit ready for the River Wye, go and have a practice for a couple of days, then go and compete and do well at it. And I think that style of prep and practice, if you can't go fishing as much as maybe others can, is a good way of doing it. Really focusing on an event, get your kit ready for that event, do a bit of practice for that event, and then go and try and execute it. And I think that suits the masses a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key point there is don't try and spread yourself too thin. It's I think it's impossible for anyone to go, let's say, River Wye to then F1 fishing at Tunnel Barn to Ferry Meadows beam fishing. So I think nowadays more than ever, you have to concentrate on one thing predominantly. You can't, you can be the jack of all trades, but everybody needs time to get to speed at that trade.
Yeah. Don't you think though? Looking back from when, I used to fish probably 4 times a week when I was in my teens and early 20s, and you used to do whatever you could get on. 1 minute you'd be on the canal, next minute you'd be on a commercial. But don't just turning it around a little bit. Do you think these younger boys are getting burnt out because they focus such on one thing, like this F1 fishing, which there's a group of them that are untouchable at it, that they just go in and they're doing the same thing week in, week out to become the best at it, that they sort of miss out on other styles of fishing and it's easily lost then. Because when I was younger, if I could have fished 8 days a week, you would have, because you didn't care where you were, you could go and enjoy it. But I think you could compete more across the range, if that makes sense. I think there's superstars at different aspects of fishing now that are really good. So if you do want to edge your bets and try and break into those areas, you've got to focus on that now. It's very different to what it used to be sort of 20 years ago, because it's not so mixed, is it now? Do you know what I mean? There's different genres.
Yeah, so, I think you're bang right, Roo. I think you're bang right.
I think that's why people burn out.
I was sat watching a Fish with... Sorry, Steve. I was sat watching a Fish with Carl video the other day while feeding the baby, while wiping the baby's chicken coma poo out of a nappy. And he was doing some pike fishing, and I text Roon and I said, do you fancy, over Christmas, can we go and just walk good at Fosdyke early morning and just have a day walking about, wobbling some dead baits or chucking some lures? I still fancy doing a bit of that. I love going barbelling. I'd happily go and fish next at Waterfall on Canal 10 minutes away and catch a couple of chub. Like, and I do think that if you've not got that itch to go and get your fishing fix, there's probably something not quite right. And I think quite a few of the super serious competitive ones now maybe do lack a little bit of that.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly. Don't know. How much on this topic? What do you guys think about social media and that putting pressure on people in fishing? Because this phase of people becoming burnt out or not going fishing because they've gone fishing too much. Do you think that there's a more pressure now to do well? Because you know that when you finish this match, you've got to put a match report on and people are going to judge you. Do you think that that's coming into play in fishing at all?
No, I've never felt the social media pressure. I've always found people love a disaster. So if you have a bad match, you get more engagement and more likes for a disaster. And people like real. So you know what I mean, I think people relate to disasters. So like that, it's like that live match I've just filmed at Patchell Park. The first 2 hours was an absolute up to being lost them both and fell into a massive trough. And people love that though. That obviously because that happens. It's real.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's social media pressure. I think some of it's like pressure to do well in the matches. My honest opinion is that F1 scene, if you want to call it that, if they're not careful, I can see it imploding in the next couple of years. That there'll be no one to fish against. There'll be no one wants to do it anymore.
No,
like I don't know. I've said it for a while.
Tapping in 3 micros is boring, isn't it? Rather chuck a big pig out on a river and catch a big barbel.
It's more exciting. Dropping some pellets in a mud-filled puddle isn't as exciting as your rod folded in half on the River Trent. It's not.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. If you do find something and you start winning doing it, there's nothing more exciting, is there?
It's
when you've got an edge. When you've got an edge.
I dare say
it's like Bennett's right. I can't bother to read him anymore because he's boring. Won again. Mind you, he's lost it now. So, but Bennett, I was saying, you're talking about social media and that. I never used to read his posts. One, they were like 50 miles long, and he at the end of it goes, "Yeah, won again." Because that's how good he was at it. Even though I miss them now because we haven't seen one for a long, long time from him because he loses all the time. But
I feel like Bennett needs a new challenge now. I'll be honest.
Yeah, sewing or something.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I just feel like he's a prime example of that F1 scene imploding. Like someone who was at the forefront, and I think he'll openly admit he hasn't got the buzz for it at the minute.
Yeah, but Bennett's one of them. You put him at something else, like he goes to Ireland. He can
do anything. He can do anything.
He'd be able to do anything. It's just putting your mind to it. But
he takes some pushing.
Yeah, going back to that original question, that the social media thing, there's like, the pressure. The pressure's only on yourself. If that's how if you don't want to do a riot, don't do one. People moan when people only riot when they win. Bit boring unless they've had a disaster right about when they lose, isn't it? But it's down to personal people. I think you're just putting the pressure on yourself. I just think, people love to see what people are doing. Like I enjoy on a Sunday or a Saturday evening just having a flick through, see what people have got up to and see what weights are on different venues. But don't put pressure on yourself. You're doing what you enjoy, aren't you? Just go out and do it. And if you have a good day, have a good day. Like I say, right about the disasters, we all love them.
Yeah, I think as well, speaking from a point of view of the masses and everyone out there that goes fishing regular, you just need to do as much as you can do. Are you trying your best in your fishing with the time that you've got and the effort you can put in? And you know what? If you are, and you're giving it your all and you're doing your best, and you're doing how you do, that's it. That's all you can really do. And if you're going and enjoying competing, great. I think that's fantastic. Not everyone can put the time and effort that Steve can into the fishing, but are you putting the most time in and the most prepping that you can physically do? And if it's a thumbs up to that, you can't really do much more, can you?
Nah.
I'm going to ask you a question now, and I put on the group earlier. I don't know if we could answer this or not, but I want to address it because it's based on last week's show, which was very well received. And we got into tackle shops somehow because off on a tangent, done it on this show. But
this is one for Rooney.
Yeah, I think Steve's signal might disappear here.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, dozens of people, commented on the rise of chains in big angling shops, and Christopher Slater, 1973 here, has put, do you think the opening of all the angling direct shops is a big reason for the decline in local tackle shops? And there were quite a few questions targeting angling direct on last week's video. What are your thoughts, Roon? You've got quite a wise head on you for this sort of thing and a lot of experience.
Yeah, well, the simple answer is probably yes, isn't it? You know, when you've got a group like Angling Direct that can pop a shop in a town, totally kit it out, have the best gear, have it laid out absolutely beautifully, and offer a great service, then yeah, it's going to affect a tackle shop that's been in the town for 20 odd years and sort of gone about his or her job as they wish. You know, it's competition, isn't it? It's just one of those natural things, and yeah, they've got a lot behind them. But I wouldn't, you know, it's hard to go, oh yeah, it's a really bad thing. You know, yes, it's not what everyone wants, because we all love the little corner local tackle shop that's been there all our lives. But times change and people try and make a living, and people like Angling Direct work very hard at what they do, and they've created, you know, a massive mothership of shops and the way they do things, they're very professional. So yeah, it's competition, it's hard. And I think it's the same in any industry, but I wouldn't blame it all on Angling Direct. I think everyone makes their own decisions and that in life. And, you know, if the corner shop down the road inherited 50 million quid and he made a superstore and sold everything at a really good price, he'd probably really Angling Direct. It's just life, isn't it? And we just have to live with it. But
I think my attitude is, like, people might not like it, but like, if the opportunity wasn't there, Angling Direct wouldn't have been able to do what they've done.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? The door was open, and obviously, don't get me wrong, they've got the buying power. Obviously, they can go and open new shops all over the place.
Yeah.
But also, anglers can moan, but there's obviously a hell of a lot of anglers buying stuff from them, because otherwise they wouldn't be keep opening new shops and announcing their revenue, etc. So. Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, there's an argument to say, you know, that they dragged fishing into the modern era with the superstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very similar in the car industry. The smaller car garages, these car supermarkets, absolutely wiped them out. And yeah, it isn't nice and it isn't good and it's not what we like, but it happens. And unless you're prepared to find your little area which offers what those stores can't offer, then you know.
You know what? This is brilliant, and it's what this show's all about. But there's people having conversations in the comments, like Ian Chappy Tube, great name.
Chappy Tube.
He's put a lovely comment here relating to this same topic that's on there, and he's put, convenience will pretty much always win out for better or worse. Only have to look at the success of Amazon, Just Eat, Deliveroo, etc. We are pretty much all hypocrites because we can't resist what appears to be a bargain. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and no one deserves or should expect a living unless they're prepared to compete on both price and also customer service. Which I think is
nailed it.
Very well calculated answer.
Because I guarantee you, most of the people that moan about AD will have bought stuff from AD just because, it's last minute, their mail order service is good. And they'll do it because we all do it, because obviously a lot of people shop on price, they shop on service, and you just go for it. You know what I mean? Let's be honest, people are only loyal to their pockets.
Yeah. There's by the opposite end of the spectrum, and again, no offense meant by this at all, but I think this is a completely narrow-minded comment that there's no thought gone into it. Huntsman PZ4XG, and again, thanks for your opinion, whoever it is, but they've just wrote, stop buying online, ! Simple. Like, That's a stupid comment.
Well, it's the truth. If we stop buying online, the shops would do well. So it's not that stupid, but it's a stupid answer, isn't it?
Like, what? I'm not going to stop buying online now. Oh, I've just this morning I ordered some stuff from Love Honey. I used Steve's gold card again. Discount.
I wonder where that gold card was.
How our lives are different. Steve ordered a pod from AD this morning. Online. You're ordering from Love Honey, and I ordered some light bulbs yesterday, and they come on the same day.
Incredible!
I ordered them from Amazon in the morning, and they were here at 8 o'clock that night. Like, man behind the gate going, "Hello, I've got a delivery for you." I was like, "What the hell?"
It'll only be a matter of time before you can do that with fishing tackle or maggots.
I think you can already if you want it.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah,
I think you can.
You've got brilliant topics, but the world's changing. These things are happening. You've got to lead the way, haven't you?
Yeah.
The other thing I'd argue is AD have also forced other shops to up their game.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And there's some amazing independent shops like Wickersley, for instance, always blows me away when I go in there.
It's incredible shop, mate.
Lead Tackle and Bait, Matchman Supplies, Nathan's, so many. But they move with the times. They go with, they create their own area of expertise and stuff like that. That's
I still believe, even if you're a smaller shop, if you're doing it right, providing a good service, customers will support you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And what I see in all those people that we just mentioned, Cam and Nath at Nathan's, Martin at Wickersley, Alex at Aston, Aid at Benwick,
Gav at Lee.
Yeah, Gav, all of them, Tom at Lanes, same. It's like the passion from the individuals behind it is there, and they want it to succeed, and they make it happen, and there'll be others that have missed out, but they force it to happen. They believe in it. They're motivated, and they just make it work. So it's there to be had. But
we all don't like change, but it happens, and we have to live and deal with it. That's it.
Yeah, we do. I think that's enough tackle shop chat, because obviously it took up quite a lot of time on the last show. Something I wanted to ask you about, which again has appeared in the comments quite a bit question-wise, and it ties in with the modern era of match fishing and people's time. Everyone's got busy lives now, and everyone's got different lives. But how important do you guys think preparation is in fishing, in modern match angling or fishing in general? How important's prep? Because everyone does it different. Everyone has different amounts. I see some pictures on Facebook of people with top kits that are like a cage around them. I could never fish like that personally, but what are your thoughts on prep, Steve? What's your routine? You're a busy man, fish a lot of matches. How do you prep?
I have to be prepped to fish because it bothers me if I think I'm not prepped properly, but I won't prep to the extreme. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, going Barston on Saturday, I had a quick look through my hook boxes. I've got quite a few size 10 QM1s tied, but I just whipped another 10 fresh ones. Just check your reel lines, and I'm away. I can't go there. Some people will tie stuff on the bank. I can't do that. But equally, I'm not. World Champs is a little bit different. But even then, I've shied away in recent years. When we used to have a World Champs, I'd get a Guru spool box. Well, get about 4 of them and fill it full of different hook lengths, different breaking strain lines, different hook patterns. Now I just tend to tie like maybe 5 or 6 spools worth, and then do the rest while I'm there, because I ended up with God knows how many spool boxes full of hooks I don't use. So I'd say my prep is much more targeted.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't feel comfortable on the bank having done no prep. Like, I know, like, and I think some people can, but also if you've not done your prep, it catches up with you. Like, I always remember Ringer versus Bennett, and you'll remember this. Makins, when Andy Bennett caught the rope on the Waggler.
Yeah,
that cost him beating me that day because he hadn't done any prep. He hadn't got any more hook lengths. He hadn't got another rod set up. And lack of prep can cost you, but I don't believe you need to spend hours and hours. But equally, if spending hours and hours, and I think, a good example of someone I don't know for a fact, but I'd imagine spends hours and hours is Paul Holland.
Yes,
but I think he has to. But I think he has to feel that's how he works. That's how his mind is. If he's not done all that prep, he can't fish properly. And I think that's what it comes down to.
What do you think, Rune?
I agree with Steve, really. I'm the same. If I've got a big competition, my main aim is to make sure everything's covered. But I think there's clever prep and then there's over prep. So I always remember the early days of the feeder team where you felt you had to tie so many hooks to please everyone, but you'd have spool boxes full of hooks you're never going to use. So like in recent years with things like Walterland and things like that, do your research, make a good decision, tie what you think you're going to need, and then leave space for what you're actually going to need when you're there, you know, so once you fine-tuned it. As long as your hardware's all ready, checked and prepped, then you can't really go too far wrong, I don't think. But yeah, clever prep.
Prep wisely is
What about you?
I think that prep's super important, and I can't go fishing and won't go fishing not prepped. But and I do have a lot of rigs tied, and I do have a lot of hooks tied, and I never do stuff on the bank at all.
No.
In terms of I'm never slack or lazy. I don't fish like that. I don't operate like that in anything I do, or you know, it's kind of a mindset thing. I like stuff to be right and done. However, I also think that there's a lot of very good anglers that are very unprepared, and there's an element of fishing that I think being a little bit unprepared also brings a little bit of open-mindedness and a little bit of free space to change and adapt. And I think that making sure you've got that is super important as well. I think you can get in modern day fishing with methods that are screamed at you on social media and told to you in depth on YouTube, and we're the catalyst for that. I feel like it's very easy to go into fishing nowadays with this is what I'm going to do. And then you go and you're in a rabbit hole before you've even got to your peg, you know? And I think that it's probably cost a lot of people a lot of fish and even a lot of match wins in recent years. The fact that we've talked about prep so much, we've talked about a method so much, and we've fed them this information, and that getting to your peg, hang on a minute, wind's off me back here. I'm going to have to fish further. I'm going to have to fish a lighter float. I'm going to have to fish past me bait. Like, I feel like that's so important, and it's maybe been lost a little bit in modern day fishing.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Interesting. I do like to see, though, these people that just go to a venue. The best person at this is Pem. He turns up with one tub of pellets, goes and absolutely empties it. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to win. See ya.
Yeah. It happens a lot, though. How often do you go to a new venue and win the match first time?
Yeah, because obviously this is a different subject.
It is.
But anglers become too regimented. And maybe a bad word, but they almost become like sheep. So everyone follows one or two people, and then someone all of a sudden comes in from nowhere who's got no preconceived idea. Just like, well, I don't see why these carp won't eat this, and absolutely takes the piss for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And then everyone copies him. I do think that it's a different subject, but I've said for years, people become very regimented and can't see outside the box.
Yeah.
I agree. I see it a lot. I've seen you do it at Clay Pit against Bagger. I know we keep bringing this up. Sorry, Bagger. But you went there, fished Emp and Corn in Edge, tore it a new one.
Yeah, because that day I went for a practice. Bagger hates that because he didn't bother. I went and everyone said you got to throw a load of dead maggots in. So I took a load of dead maggots from a practice. It was deep, like 6-7 foot. I was throwing these dead maggots in, and it just didn't seem right to me. You know, I mean, obviously going back, Roon will know this, back to the makings days, I was just like, this is screaming hemp and corn. Why wouldn't they eat hemp and corn? So I opened a few tins of hemp and tins of corn, started chucking that in, and it was a carp every chuck. But like, to me, but obviously maybe if I'd have been a regular there, I'd have got sucked into the dead maggot route. It just didn't seem right to me. But I think you can only see that when you go to a new venue with a fresh pair of eyes.
Yeah, I've seen it before in the past when I used to fish places like Blundell's in Manchester, and that Kieran Rich sort of dominated there. So everyone presumed you had to fish the same way as Kieran. And it was like a walk-off draw there. So you drew your peg and you could just pick where you wanted to sit. It was sort of that in order. And wherever Kieran would sit, people would just give him loads of room because they didn't want to be near him because they knew they couldn't beat him at doing the same as what he was doing, if that makes sense. So you're sort of playing into their hands even more. And he just used to literally take it apart and no one would go near him. And then like someone else would turn up and do something different, like we said, like fish meat short rather than fishing for these eyed shallow on casters, and all of a sudden start winning some matches. So it mixes it all back up again. But yeah, I think that happens a lot. And people do, like Steve Boddington, for example. Everyone would try and fish like Steve because they know he can win. But he's got 3 or 4 more tricks up his sleeve and probably about another 20 meters where he can destroy them in the last part of the match. But that's why you've got to be, you've got to think outside the box and do it for yourself if you want to win.
Be a wolf, not a sheep, I'm saying. And this leads in lovely. I've got a question here that I picked out earlier, which is a little bit more of a light-hearted, less fishing politics, fish a lot. Absolutely loving these weigh-in podcast, guys. Hang on. Absolutely loving these weigh-ins, guys. Do you think there are some... Yeah. Do you think there are some old but gold methods that are never used anymore? And why are they no longer used? The pellet cone ? The bagging waggler ? Good examples of it. Would love to hear your thoughts. So, talking about fishing and thinking outside the box, what do you reckon to that? Why are these old methods not used anymore? Are they crap?
No, it's fashion. It's fashion.
Fashion.
A brilliant example of it is Barston at the minute. Obviously not on because the rules were different at the weekend. But like PVA bag fishing was massive, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years ago.
Probably longer than that, Steve.
Yeah, we were all doing little tiny bags, catching loads of carp. And then for some reason, we all forgot about it. No idea. Because fashion moves on, something new comes out, we all jump on it.
You idiots invented hybrid feeders.
But then the last 2 years,
they're crap.
Barston's been completely took apart by PVA bag fishing again. Yeah. So they do come back round, but it needs someone to bring them.
Yeah. I'd never had a bite on the bagging wag on Thursday. Did you?
No, well, didn't get many bites on the feeder either.
It is. It just comes around and it is very fashionable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dominated by those people that lead the way. So, Steve.
Well, it's like, but if you look at bagging waggler, pellet waggler finished off bagging waggler.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
But there's still circumstances, but only on a handful of venues where you could probably win with bagging waggler.
Yeah.
But again, it takes someone to have the balls to go there and do it.
It's a cool way of fishing, in it. I love it.
No, it's amazing. It was an incredible way, but it's very venue specific. You need a biggish venue. Somewhere like, maybe in the summer, somewhere like Worsborough, you might be able to catch on it. I don't know.
Hartshill. Matt did a feature not so long ago at Hartshill and took it apart.
They're only little fish. That's the only thing there. I think we should try and go and revisit a Drayton or an Earlswood or
Naisby, maybe.
That'd be min. Bagging waggler at Naisby.
Yeah. Cone works everywhere still as well, doesn't it? Cone's brilliant.
It does, but again, like you say,
PVA bag's taking its place.
But if you went out next week and won the match at Barston on cone, the week after, half the anglers would be on it.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It just needs someone to have a big set of balls and go and do it, win, and then it will just start again.
Yeah.
Floating pole used to be brilliant, didn't it?
Yeah.
I only found this out. I'll probably get a right bollocking for telling people on here. But, Duffy, Pete Duffy, he won that Winter League round we had at Allcroft with £99, 14 of skimmers, and he did really well the practice match day before. He's been catching loads of fish.
He's been cheating, has he?
Yeah, been cheating. No, he's not been cheating. He wouldn't do that. He's been fishing liquidised corn, I heard. Just feeding them fishing liquidised corn. A bit only one match doing it.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a person, isn't it?
Anyway, I'm just off to get the liquidizer out.
I've noticed you've got that in your locker loads. I watched your live match at Patsall, which I thought were great, by the way. And you're using licky corn a lot, aren't you, at the minute?
I've used it for years. We started using it at Bow Beach when Feeder Masters was final was on there. I think his name's Andy. He's a carper. He took me out in his boat.
Andy.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Carper Andy.
Sweet corn
Anyway,
Andy.
he took me out in his boat to do because I wanted to see the depths on his echo sounder, and he said, "I'm going to pre-bait. I'm going to pre-bait while I'm doing it." And I opened he had this massive bucket full of stuff, and it was just full of like chopped maize and stuff. And I looked at it all and thought, he's piling this stuff in here. Surely, if I start feeding chopped corn, those fish are used to it. And to be honest, it worked brilliantly those years at Bow Beach, and I've used it in Ireland, Ferry Meadows, all over the place. It's just I think it's one of them things that can't be wrong. It's a bit of colour. Chopped corn fizzes. It attracts bigger fish. But again, it's just an example of a bait that's a little bit different. A bit like Licky Meat was when that first came out.
That you know what's going to happen now, don't you? There's going to be just whizzed corn all over the country now, everywhere we go all winter.
Good luck. Going to say good luck going into winter with it.
The end of the day.
Look, I want to give the final sort of shout out question to someone who's commented on YouTube, because I thought this was quite a nice one. Jason Fowler -T8Q. He's put on a topic, who would you pick to catch, which is our little thing that we ask every week. He's going down the really rock hard route this week. He said, can you pick me an angler to catch you 4 ounce for a section win in the depths of winter when everyone else is dry netting? And we're going to come up to this time of year very, very soon.
You might be.
Who are you picking? Who's your king scratcher? Who's going to catch you a fish when everyone else is going to blank?
I wouldn't pick Waco because he'll have filled the 4 ounces of fish up within 10 minutes with catches raining on top of him. I don't know.
Lee Kerry's really good at scratching.
For Christ's sake. I don't know, because that scratching is like, it's an art in itself. You know what I mean? You're going back to like the tough canal days. You probably want some like hardened northern canal angler.
Yeah. Who are you picking then?
Not Bennett, because he's shit now at everything.
Well, Bennett can't scratch, can he? Don't know. Just thing is, a lot of people would be defeated instantly by that scenario of like, you got to catch 4 ounces.
Griff
4 ounces.
good. He weighs 4 ounces in a lot, doesn't he? Griff.
Who's that?
Griff.
Mark Griffith. Yeah. On the dog toy.
Sorry, Griff. Only joking. Get selling some tackle.
Someone who could scratch me for 4 ounces to say. Don't know. It's not very inspirational, is it?
No, but it's different.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Probably a depressing conversation.
I've got one. Can I tell you mine while you think?
Go
on then.
I'd pick big ass. I'd pick big ass Carras. Joe Carras me.
No, he's gone.
No, I think Joe's awesome at that. I've seen him do it loads of times when we used to fish like crap little canals or Selby Canal or what were it called? That Horbury Canal. And he gets motivated to actually go and do it, or he did. Like if it were going to be crap and you needed to catch a fish to win section, he would genuinely be motivated to go and do it.
Off that.
Yeah,
I tell you what,
off his box, he would concentrate like mad. He'd jig a lobby about it, jig a redworm about it. Like Joe would be my man to catch me a fish if everyone were blanking. He really would. I'd pick Joe Carras.
I tell you who I think. Don't know. I might be totally wrong, and his mindset might not be there now. But I do think Big Al would be quite good if you got him in the right.
Great.
I think he'd get off on like catching 10 Tommy Ruff.
Yeah, he would.
Challenge, and he'd create like an amazing method to catch them.
Yeah.
Like, and he'd probably go practicing as well.
Let me tell you a story about Big Al, right? Not to divulge, but we were once fishing the Census Challenge on the River Soar, freezing cold, rock hard, first week of March, just before the season ended, and no one could get a bite. And he found this way of catching like a tiny wasp perch or two. It were tramming through, and he was sat on like a 20. We were all sat in a line, and he come walking down the bank, opened his hand up, and he got a little perch in it. We're like, chuffing hell, where have you caught that? How have you caught that? And he'd got like a 20-gram flat float on, and he'd put a 24 or 26 hook and double joker on, and he would just sat with it on the back edge of his bait, 13 metres out in this river. And every now and again, he'd just keep lift every like minute, he'd just lift it. And if there weren't anything on, he'd just put it back down. And he sat there for hours doing it. And this one time he picked it up and there were this little perch on. And no one had even have a hook on out there on that rig to do that. But he caught this fish when no one else had a bite. And we ended up winning the Census Challenge. And 2 or 3 of us caught 1 or 2 shitty little fish in the middle of sections of blanks, and it was because he'd gone, look, you have to fish a tiny hook and a tiny bait where no one else would do it, and you won't see a bite, just keep lifting and you'll end up with one on. And it was funny you say that. I should have said Big Al.
No, when you said Joe, I'd suddenly started thinking about, I could just imagine Alan thriving on that.
Yeah, he would.
As long as it's achievable, I honestly can't think of anyone better.
Who are you saying, Roon? You've done some canal scratching of it years in the Midlands. You have, and I bet you get off on it a bit, you little canal pervert.
Nah, not really. Not that. I always usually catch like between £8 and £10 every time I sit on a canal.
Not on the Gloucester, you don't.
No. I enjoyed the scratching on the Gloucester on that 2-dayer through the summer. If I had to pick someone to catch fish on the canal, well, I've mentioned him before, but I haven't picked him yet. Dean Barlow would catch you one.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
What? He would.
He'd have gone home, mate. He'd have gone after an hour.
No, he wouldn't. Yeah, because he'd have caught one. He wouldn't be out like you lot. No, he'd catch you one. I've been fishing for so many years with Dean all over, doing different things, and he always finds a fish. Moans a lot.
To be fair to him, he's got that old school mentality, which I think you need for that type of fishing.
I don't know why everyone keeps saying he's old. He's not that old.
I said old school, not old.
Really old. No, yeah, he'd catch you one. He'd catch you one.
Yeah, he would.
But no one's going to be doing that because that's boring.
Yeah, sack that off.
Want a better question for next week, please?
Yeah, get your questions in, folks. Obviously, everyone who's had one answered this week, we've got Huntsman PZ4XG. We've got Ian Chappie, we've got
I like his name.
Janton Fowler.
We've got Godfrey.
Christopher Slater, 1973. 1991. Barnes and Fishing Minter. Don't forget, name, address, and telephone number to info@tackleguru.co.uk. You get yourself a nice little Tackle Guru clothing prize, probably one of the new beanies. Make sure you send that email. We'll check that it's you, and we'll get you a nice little prize sent out. And for everyone listening, thanks a lot for all the comments over the last few weeks. We've had over 80,000 views, which we never imagined it'd happen on this so quickly. And we're really enjoying putting stuff on the table and being open and honest. So again, we want this show to go on forever. We've got loads of ideas so far for what we want to do in the next few weeks, but get your ideas, your questions, topics, anything that's a bit political, edgy is fantastic because that's what this show's all about. And we will see you all next week. Peace.